I would say capacities have been increased in nitric acid, acetic acid, and those likes. And not to forget, there are concerns of pollution in some countries which have led to the ban of production of some chemicals. For example, TDI has been banned in many of the European countries, BASF was one of the largest producer. And that has helped companies like GNFC prosper. So I think although there are short-term blips, which is quite logical, considering the kind of price run which we have witnessed in chemical stock in the recent past, I think any downside should be taken as an opportunity to buy for a medium to longer term. We are especially bullish on GNFC, Deepak Fertilizer, Deepak Nitrite, even Balaji Mines fits the bill. So these are some of the stocks which should have one should keep on their radar.
Right, many thanks, Rajesh. Coming to you, Kunal, firstly, a very good morning. Now, chemicals as sector is, of course, a very vast pack. But according to you, what stock do you think is running right now and is doing really well?
Good morning, everyone. My belief is that most of these chemical stocks have done reasonably well in the last 2-3 months, but then somehow these charts are coming back to a zone of resistance for themselves. So the indicators have started to show signs of weakness first. Naveen Fluorine, for example, the charts which I wanted to discuss from this pack, I think has shown signs of weakness on the lower grade on the indicators. The indicators have actually broken the previous lows, which means that the prices should also over the near term go into some sort of a small term correction. So I believe that most of these chemical stocks, they look slight weaker on the charts, and possibly over the very near term, say over the next 1 to 2 weeks, these stocks can correct anywhere in the tune of 5% to 7%.
All right, so that's the take coming in on chemicals pack. The views coming in from Rajesh as well as Kunal. But hang in there, experts. We'll slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. But when we come back, we will be back with viewers, your queries, so you don't go anywhere.
Powered by Housing.com.
But in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge.
Nikunj, you're a very seasoned market observer, and therefore you may hit the nail on the head.
I think you have always kept the focus on the retail investor, and I think it's again a very apt, very good question.
Nikunj, first of all, thank you so much. You are one person I've always enjoyed interacting throughout last 15-20 years.
The problem on coming on your channel is that you already know everything. I just heard your introduction. And what can anybody add to that?
Stock markets is a numbers game, and it sometimes does come across as one-dimensional. But what people don't see is that these numbers, when strung together, tell a story. There's no really black or white. It very much seems to be a work in progress of triumphs and mistakes, greed and fear. And I bring you that story behind the numbers in action.
The personal finance show that helps you achieve all your financial dreams.
This show gets you everything that you need to know about your money, how to earn more, invest smartly, and spend while getting the best bang for your buck.
from the perfect home to early retirement and everything in between.
Real estate, everyone knows, is an asset that Indians absolutely love, maybe even more than gold.
Join us every weekday at 5 p.m. on the ET Money Show. Investment made easy. Only on ET Now.
With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you asked, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
But if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge.
See, Nikunj, you're a very seasoned market observer, and therefore you may hit the nail on the head.
I think you have always kept the focus on the retail investor, and I think it's again a very apt, very good question.
Nikunj, first of all, thank you so much. You are one person I've always enjoyed interacting throughout last 15-20 years.
You know, the problem on coming on your channel is that you already know everything. I just heard your introduction. And what can anybody add to that?
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. And yes, we are seeing volatile trading sessions in the markets. But Rajesh, how can an investor or retail investor protect its wealth given the fact that we've seen this sort of a volatility in the market? What are the right do's and don'ts?
See, there are a lot of things that can be discussed, but seeing the current scenario, I would say that don't panic. The first thing is don't panic. If your stock is good, it will give you a good return. For example, when we travel, there are air turbulence. We don't get down midway. We just fasten our seatbelt and keep quiet. And if the aircraft is good, you have a safe landing. Same way in investments, these kind of corrections are part of the market as turbulence. Air turbulence is part of the flying. So when there is these kind of correction, don't panic, sit tight, and if your investment is good, you're in a right vehicle, you will have a safe landing, you have a good returns to have. And don't follow unsolicited tips. They can be dangerous. Do your homework, do your research, and then invest.
Those are some very crucial advice coming in from Rajesh that don't panic in the given volatile market conditions. Sit tight if you are in a quality stocks. There's just mid-air turbulence, nothing to be perturbed about, but do not listen to unsolicited advice as well. They can be dangerous. But let's shift focus and let's get on board our viewer queries then. And this is a segment where we answer your stock-related queries. So remember, you can write into us on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. Also, you can write into us on our WhatsApp number that will be flashing shortly on the top of your screen. Do mention your name, the stock that you want a recommendation of on. If you are already invested, then do mention the buy price of the stock and also the quantity that you have, and we will advise you on the same. So let's get going with the queries then. And the first one that I have is coming in from Mohammed, and he wants to know whether he can buy UPL for the long term. Rajesh, what's your take? Do you think this is a quality bet that one can take right now?
Yes. In the start of this program, we were discussing chemicals as one of those stocks. Plus, it has an agro theme. Government's focus on reducing inflation, especially food inflation, and focus on rural development is going to help these kind of companies. UPL at this price is a good bet for medium to long term. One can definitely buy.
Right. Kunal, coming to you now. Sushila is writing to us and she's holding Iex at 248. She's asking whether to hold or exit.
Well, I would suggest to hold on to the stock, but then averaging out would not be a right opportunity at current levels. My belief, and I've mentioned this time and again, that I think closer to 125 levels is where you should look to average the stock. If you're holding it from a longer term play. So not at current levels, but I think closer to 125 is where you should look to average.
Okay, Kunal, next one is also for you. Srinivas is saying that he's bought Manali Petro at an average price of 104 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he should hold or exit. He's saying that he can hold on for the next 6 months as well.
Well, I would suggest to exit. I don't see any major trends coming back for Manali Petro. I think the stock has been absolutely sideways. Last 4 quarters, the stock has been into a downward trend, but in that 4 quarters time span as well, the stock has been trading below the 200 moving average, at least for the last 3-4 months specifically. So I think in that regards, it will not be a great time to try and buy the stock. Would suggest an exit.
Right. Rajesh, coming to you now. Very good morning firstly. Secondly, Jay Kishan is writing to us from Gwalior. He's bought Natco Pharma, 100 shares of Natco Pharma at 640. He's saying he's going through very heavy losses and what he should do. He's asking for your advice.
See, one should hold on to the stock. It's not the right time to exit. One, the company fundamentals are very strong. They're doing good work in oncology, and some of the molecules have done very well. I think going forward, the numbers are also going to improve. One should hold on to the stock. And somebody looking for buy for a medium term, maybe 6 to 9 months, one can even buy at this point of time.
Nino has a Coromandel. He's saying that it's a part of his monthly SIP portfolio, Rajesh. He wants to know what sort of strategy should he advise actually, what sort of an investment strategy should he have when it comes to Coromandel International?
See, one should definitely add on money. One should not stop SIP. Coromandel is doing very well. The numbers have been good. As I said, government's focus on rural development, food inflation is going to help fertilizer company. It's one of the best fertilizer company, I would say, belonging to the Murugappa group. Capex has been done. The numbers are very good. And going forward also, we believe that the numbers would be even better. So one can buy. If somebody is looking for a safer grounds, one can buy EID Perry, which again is a holding company of Coromandel International. By that, you are acquiring Coromandel and their sugar business too. So this can be the strategy, either Coromandel or EID.
Right. Coming to you, Kunal. Dev is writing to us from Chennai. He's holding 15 shares of Dr. Reddy with an average price of 5,307. He's asking whether he should hold or sell.
So you can continue to hold. It's a quality stock, but then pharma stocks in general are not going through one of the best phases and best times for themselves. Even the case with Dr. Reddy, and if I can probably club it with DV Slab as well. I think over the last 5-6 months, these stocks have moved into a very sideways kind of a tangent for themselves. So I believe in that regards, you can hold on to the stock. Maybe not a best time to average. Let the stock give confirmation of a breakout, for example, about this 200 DMA. If it manages to sustain about those levels for at least a week or so, that's the point where you can look to start averaging out.
Okay, this one is for you, Kunal, specifically. This one is from Satya, and Satya is asking why to put a stop loss at 880 for Sun Pharma, as you had mentioned yesterday. He says, is it for a medium term or should he buy again if it drops below 880? So he wants to know your strategy when it comes to Sun Pharma.
See, my belief is that the stock should do pretty well for itself, but then externally what happens to the market, it's very difficult to try and comprehend and trying to you have to try and factor into the volatility as well. So it's always prudent enough to have a stop loss in any kind of a trade, whether it's a short-term trade, whether it's a positional trade, or whether even if it's an intraday trade. So you have to understand the point that where the stock or the thesis of the stock would start to get into a turnaround mode. So for Sun Pharma, I believe 880 is that level where, assuming if the stock breaks below that mark, I believe the charts on the short-term basis could probably reverse as well.
Right. Rajesh, coming to you now. Narayan is writing to us from Visakhapatnam. He's holding 150 stocks of Godrej Property at 1,684 per share. He's asking whether he should hold or switch, and he's also asking for what stocks to also invest in.
See, reality as a pack is very volatile, and I think the retail investor as such should avoid property stock because they face a lot of issues. Although Godrej or Sobha or Ajmera, these kind of stocks are immune, somehow safe from their problems. But still, I would say one should avoid realty stocks. For a retail investor as such, one can, if somebody wants to have exposure to realty, one can have a look at realty ancillary. By realty ancillary, I would say cement or ceramics, something like that, or even housing finance companies fit the bill. So at this point of time, we would suggest buying into cement stocks, maybe a Birla Corp or a Dalmia Bharat would be a better bet.
Okay. Kunal, this one is for you, and I'm sure this query that is coming from Manish Raju is a query that most of the investors would be having on their mind right now, may not be writing it to us in as many words, but what Manish is saying, that he's lost 75% profits on his portfolio in the last 2 trading sessions. He's saying given that there might be some more correction, is it better to book out the remaining profits now, or should he wait until the next quarter results?
So I think it would probably depend on the kind of stocks which you're holding first. The second, what matters is which phase of the market correction we are into. We've just started off the correction on the indices, but then globally, when we look at the charts for US markets, they are at a point of extreme oversold nature. So which means that there was a misalignment, and the markets are correcting this misalignment. So the risk has come back into the markets back again. So I believe it could be more of a short-term phenomena. But then, it depends on the kind of stocks which you're holding, because if these stocks have corrected majorly, so if you've eroded 75% of your profit, I'm assuming that, you've probably taken this as a more of a short-term trading play. So it's always prudent enough to maybe book out your residual profits, maybe strategize after the next couple of days, assuming the market bottoms out at the 17,000 mark, look to buy back again those kind of stocks or look to better your quality in terms of picking the stocks.
Right, Kunal, coming to you only. MVS Rao is writing to us from Hyderabad. Bought Bajaj Finance at 7,513, 50 shares. He's asking for what target price and whether he can average at current price. He's also saying that he's short-term trading for 1 month.
So I think Bajaj Finance should do pretty well over the near term. At least when I look at the rest of the pack in terms of the financial services name, I think Bajaj Finance stands out to be a stronger performer, more resilient in the worst of the market phases as well. So I think that's a quality and a hallmark of the stock. And rather than just looking at this as a short-term play, why not go for a more of a medium-term to long-term investing into this stock? So if you bought at 7,500, assumingly, I think 7,050 could be a good point where you can look to average further for Bajaj Finance.
Okay, this is from Jai Krishnan, and this is for a medium term on Polycab. He's already purchased at 2,626 rupees per share. He wants to know what should he do right now with this particular holding. Rajesh, should he look to sell or average at these levels?
See, averaging at this point of time would be recommended because it has corrected a lot. And the way we were talking about things, auto realty ancillaries. So this is one of the play. This is into FMEG, fast-moving electronic goods. So this is a very good play, not only in wires but also in appliances. I think one should definitely add to this stock.
Now coming to you, Dr. Bhavesh is writing to us, who bought Linde India at 525 rupees, 60 shares. He's asking for a short-term view and what other shares to buy.
So
Stocks to buy, sorry.
Yeah, I think Linde India is also going through a correction, but then it's not been a very high beta or a volatile stock. At least over the last few months, the stock has been trying to absorb, or the corrections have been absorbed just around that 200 DMA for Lane Day India. I think in the month of June or July, if I'm not wrong, the stock had corrected back towards its 200 DMA and then bounced back quite fiercely from those levels. We are now at a point where the stock is coming back to that kind of a retest for itself. So I think you can hold on to the stock. If you're looking out for buying some other name, on the short-term charts, IndusInd Bank is something which I've been recommending quite strongly over the last few months.
Or should he look at some other strategy altogether?
See, both companies are doing very well, I would say, especially Welspun Corp. The business is doing very well. I think one could definitely hold on to Welspun Corp for a target of maybe 300, 325 rupees in the next 6 to 9 months. As far as Ratnamani Metals is concerned, I think one should book part profit. I won't say sell all your holdings, but at least book a part profit. And if by any chance it goes below 1750, 1700 odd levels, then one can again buy this. But at this point of time, I would suggest booking part profit.
Right. Stay with us as we slip into a short break, but don't go anywhere. The query segment continues and we'll get you more.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है।
Stock markets is a numbers game, and it sometimes does come across as one-dimensional. But what people don't see is that these numbers, when strung together, tell a story. There's no really black or white. It very much seems to be a work in progress of triumphs and mistakes, greed and fear. And I bring you that story behind the numbers in action.
The personal finance show that helps you achieve all your financial dreams.
This show gets you everything that you need to know about your money, how to earn more, invest smartly, and spend while getting the best bang for your buck.
From the perfect home to early retirement and everything in between.
Real estate, everyone knows, is an asset that Indians absolutely love, maybe even more than gold.
Join us every weekday at 5 p.m. on the ET Money Show. Investment made easy. Only on ET Now.
With each passing day, this market is becoming better. And with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
But if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge.
Nikunj, you're a very seasoned market observer, and therefore you may hit the nail on the head.
I think you have always kept the focus on the retail investor, and I think it's again a very apt, very good question.
Nikunj, first of all, thank you so much. You are one person I've always enjoyed interacting throughout last 15-20 years.
The problem on coming on your channel is that you already know everything. I just heard your introduction. And what can anybody add to that?
Stock markets is a numbers game, and it sometimes does come across as one-dimensional. But what people don't see is that these numbers, when strung together, tell a story. There's no really black or white. It very much seems to be a work in progress of triumphs and mistakes, greed and fear. And I bring you that story behind the numbers in action.
The personal finance show that helps you achieve all your financial dreams.
This show gets you everything that you need to know about your money, how to earn more, invest smartly, and spend while...
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. And as we come back from the break, you can see the market's also trying to make a smart comeback as well. About 0.5% uptick coming in on the Nifty from the day's lowest point. Let's take a look at what Nifty Bank is doing as well. That one also had actually slipped into the negative territory with the rest of the markets. But Nifty Bank also is trying to make some sort of a smart recovery as we speak. 0.5% uptick coming in for the benchmarks. You have Nifty Bank still in the negative territory. Nevertheless, is actually trying to claw back. 0.5% uptick coming in for Nifty Bank as well. But let's move on and let's talk about, or rather, let's continue taking your queries then. And let's come back to some short-term queries then, Kunal. And this one I've got from Tripta Alwalia. And Tripta is writing to us from Bangalore and wants to know at what entry price should she look to enter Adani Ports?
Well, I think closer to 850-55 mark would be a good point to buy Adani Ports. Now, of course, it'll be a very risky proposition because of the way the stock has rallied and the entire pack has rallied. But I think closer to this current market price, 850 odd, could be a good point because that also marks the potential breakout point for Adani Ports, and this breakout had actually come back into the stock after almost 12 months of consolidation. So I think at current levels or around this 850 mark would be a good point to buy the stock.
Right, coming back to you, Kunal. So Brata Mukherjee is writing to us. She wants to buy ONGC and Power Grid for 12 months and she's asking for your advice.
I would suggest an avoid. I have not seen these stocks participating in the best of the market times as well. I think when these stocks get into a correction phase, those corrections are very slow, steady and more painful to watch out for. So I think out of the PSU names, there are just very few PSU stocks which are actually looking quite strong. The likes of BEL, the likes of HL, etc., which are looking more strong and formidable. I would completely suggest an avoid on stocks like ONGC, Power Grid, or I can even if I can club a stock like GAIL as well.
Okay, taking this one coming in from Mulai Vendan, he's writing to us from Tamil Nadu, and Kunal did speak about IndusInd Bank, how he's liking this particular counter. But Rajesh, this one is for you. He's bought about 28 shares of IndusInd Bank at 946 rupees per share, 20 shares of ICICI Bank at 780 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he should book out profits on these counters or continue to hold on to them. ICICI Bank and IndusInd Bank looks like he's got a quality names in the banking pack. What should his strategy be?
You said it right, Cyril. Quality names. And I would say not only hold, but add to both of them. Both of them are doing extremely well. And I think going forward too, these two banks are going to outperform the entire private banking space. So it would be prudent to hold on to the stock. And if your funds allow, you can even add to that.
Right. Rajesh, to you. Jay Kishan is writing to us from Gwalior. He's bought Tata Consumer, 160 share Tata Consumer at 800. He's asking what he should do. He's asking for advice as he's been facing heavy losses.
One should definitely hold on to the stock. The company is doing well. They're expanding in new territories. They're launching new products. And not to forget, Tata Coffee merger is on the way. So all things are looking good for Tata Consumer for a medium to longer term horizon. Yes, in the short term, I don't think there would be any kind of movement because whenever see these kind of corporate actions are announced, mergers and all, stocks go into a consolidation phase. But for a longer term horizon, we believe that this stock can move into four-figure territory in the next 1 year or 18 months. So definitely it's a hold.
This one has come from Shivang Kunal. IIFL bought 200 shares at a price of 353 rupees per share. Wants to know what should he do.
Well, I would suggest to hold on to the stock. I think the stock is still outperforming most of the other peers. I think at 355, 57 current levels, also above its 200 and the 50-day moving average. Even in this kind of a market correction in the last 2-3 days. So seems to be an attractive chart. I would suggest a hold.
Kunal, Prashant is writing to us and he's asked us specially to ask you this question. He's asking about Tata Motors or IDBI Bank, which is a better pick. And he's also asking for your recommendations to suggest stocks names.
See, I would not prefer IDBI Bank. Now I understand that the stock has been through a lot of news flow. But then you have to look out for stocks performing when the news is not there. So the stocks have to be very highly correlated or linked to the index movement, which is not the case with IDBI Bank, at least over the last so many years. Tata Motors, on the other hand, I think is going through its own issues, specifically because of Europe, etc. And that's why you've seen that the stock has been an underperformer when the auto stocks were making a high, and it's been one of the first stocks to correct sharply when the auto stocks are going through a wave of correction. So may not be the best time to try and buy Tata Motors. But then if I have to suggest an alternate pick, which I just did some time back, IndusInd Bank, Muthoot Finance could be a better alternative at current levels, and possibly once the the wave of selling irons out on the market, then you can look at Tata Motors.
Okay. This was from KJ Singh. He's writing to us from New Delhi. Rajesh, and he wants a long-term view on Pfizer. He's already holding the counter at the price of around 4,900 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he can average at current price.
Definitely, yes. The company is doing very well. The only issue is low volumes on the counter. But since you are a long-term investor, I think that won't matter. At 4,000, 4,100 odd levels, this is a very good buy in the pharma space as such, MNC Pharma. Trading at a discount to its peers, I think it's a buy.
Right. Coming to you again, Rajesh. Akhil is writing to us from New Delhi. He has 780 shares of Iex at 195. He's saying that he can hold, but he's asking for how long. And he's also saying that he's added more as it's down 27%. What's the future of Iex?
See, the future is very bright. It's one of the market leaders, I would say, in its segment. Almost more than 90% of the market share. They launched new products, new contracts in the segment. The only issue in the recent past that has been some states have been banned from trading or buying power. So that has taken it all. Secondly, it has run up quite a lot in the last 2 years. That for that reason, it's showing a consolidation. But for a longer term horizon, we feel that if somebody holds for 12 to 18 months, 175, 180, it's quite possible.
This one is coming from Sunny, and Sunny is writing to us from Japan, and he's wishing a happy Navratra to us all and happy Navratra to you as well, Sunny. As you can see, Kunal is making sure to follow the colors of Navratri. It is red, the color red today, and you have Kunal wearing a red tie. Isn't that the reason why you're wearing red tie, Kunal?
Yes, exactly. I was instructed to do that.
Oh, you're instructed to do that. But Rajesh, you are from Calcutta, right? I'm sure that Navratra is a celebrated. It's amazing to see the celebration out there, isn't it? You have Durga Puja as well.
See, in Calcutta, Durga Puja is not a festival. It's an emotion that runs to every human being in the state, be it of, irrespective of any caste or religion or anything. It's huge. I don't think anything is comparable to what Durga Puja is in India. Let me tell you, this is the only Indian festival in India that has got a UNESCO heritage tag this year. And this is going to be huge, I would say.
I should make sure that next year at least I should try and make it to Calcutta, at least to attend Durga Puja. But this is India for you, where everyone enjoys everything together, and it's beautiful, isn't it? And Sunny, you're writing to us from Japan. I'm sure you're missing all the festivities back home. But let me head to your queries then. And he is written about Zydus Life. And Kunal, this one is for you. He's holding 700 shares at a price of around 420 rupees per share. He's saying that he can hold on for the next 1 year, but he wants to know whether it's the right time to average Or should he actually book losses or wait for it to become, wait for a break even?
So I think you should wait, on Zydus Life. I don't sense a major correction coming by into the stock price. Actually, what's happening is, over the last, few months, specifically from the March lows or Feb lows for, Zydus Life, the indicators have started to go into an upward trend first. Now, the indicators are on the verge of a breakout on the weekly charts. Now, it's a process. It may take probably another 3 to 4 weeks, or it may take slightly more time than that. But once the indicators come back into the positive, that's where new trends starts to emerge for Zydus Life. And remember that the indicators had broken down for the stock in the second half or in the middle part of the previous year when the stock was almost at 550, 500 levels. So which means you're expecting, and I'm of the belief that the stock is on the verge of a turnaround. Now the turnaround process could probably take another few weeks. I would suggest a wait till that time.
Right, stay with us as we slip into a short break, but the queries segment continues. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Getting the best bang for your buck.
From the perfect home to early retirement and everything in between.
Real estate, everyone knows, is an asset that Indians absolutely love, maybe even more than gold.
Join us every weekday at 5 p.m. on the ET Money Show. Investment made easy. Only on ET Now.
With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge.
See, Nikunj, you're a very seasoned market observer, and therefore you may hit the nail on the head.
I think you have always kept the focus on the retail investor, and I think it's again a very apt, very good question.
Nikunj, first of all, thank you so much. You are one person I've always enjoyed interacting throughout last 15-20 years.
The problem on coming on your channel is that you already know everything. I just heard your introduction. And what can anybody add to that?
Stock markets is a numbers game, and it sometimes does come across as one-dimensional. But what people don't see is that these numbers, when strung together, tell a story. There's no really black or white. It very much seems to be a work in progress of triumphs and mistakes, greed and fear. And I bring you that story behind the numbers in action.
The personal finance show that helps you achieve all your financial dreams.
This show gets you everything that you need to know about your money, how to earn more, invest smartly, and spend while getting the best bang for your buck.
From the perfect home to early retirement and everything in between.
Real estate, everyone knows, is an asset that Indians absolutely love, maybe even more than gold.
Join us every weekday at 5 p.m. on the ET Money Show. Investment made easy. Only on ET Now.
With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that.
Welcome back, and every time we take a break on Buy Now, Sell Now, we come back with the markets actually powering ahead. Now 100 points uptick coming in for Nifty. Let's take a look at what Nifty Bank is doing as well as we speak, and I believe the Nifty Bank also has managed to break into the positive territory after that initial dip that it has seen with the benchmark indices as well. There you go, 230 points uptick coming in for a Nifty Bank from the day's lowest point, and it continues to power ahead. So there you go, the markets have actually now are comfortably in the positive territory, at least for the benchmarks is what we can say as of now. But let's continue with your queries then, and yes, we are continuing with the queries in this segment as well. So let's take this query that I have from Nikhila Reddy. And Nikhila Reddy wants to know whether what sort of a buying range should she look at for TCS and Infosys, Kunal.
Well, I think Infosys you can look to buy at current levels. TCS also, I think, just around that 2,950, 900 mark, I think would be a good level to buy. Now, the only question with IT stocks is not the timing wise, the timing in the sense the price wise, but it's the extent of time which you can wait out for stocks. So when you see large cap stocks which have corrected by 30%, 35% from their previous year highs, I think that's a very good entry point when you look at it from a long-term play. So it's only the concern that how much time you are ready to spend into these IT stocks. If it's more of a couple of years plus, then I think you should look to buy at current levels.
Right, coming to you, Rajesh. Akhil is writing to us from Delhi. He holds 375 shares of IRCTC at 753. He's asking what to do, whether he can keep it for long term.
Of course, yes. It's an ad from our side. All four divisions, be it ticketing, be it mineral water, be it catering, or be it tourism, all are doing very well. It's one of the monopoly business, I would say. Cash positive balance sheet, ratios very good. We believe in a longer term horizon, this can give very good returns. It's an ad from our side.
With that, let's kickstart with the rapid fire then, and let me come first to you, Kunal. Tejal Bansal has a GAIL at 84 rupees per share, 1,000 shares. The view is for 1 year. What should you do?
Keep a stop loss of 80 and hold on.
Right, coming to you, and Kunal. Arjun is writing to us from Dubai. What rate can he buy Canara Bank and City Union Bank today?
City Union Bank, I think closer to 160 could be a good point to buy. Canara Bank, if you're looking to buy, not today, but Canara Bank, if you're looking to buy, maybe at 205 could be a very good level.
Okay, this next one that I have is coming in from Vivek, and Vivek already has some shares of Adani Ports, bought 80 shares at 910. Long or short-term horizon, no bar. What's your take, Rajesh?
I think one should try to exit at this point of time. It's coming under selling pressure, so it's better to switch to some other names. Even in the Adani pack, one can have a look at Ambuja.
Right, Rajesh. Anjali is writing to us from Nashik. Fundamental view on Power Grid.
It's a void, although fundamentally is very strong, but these kind of stocks don't perform, and with the kind of recent battering, there might be some kind of uptake, but it's a void.
All right, this one is coming from Sadiq Mastek. He wants a long-term view, also an entry level. What's your take, Kunal? Can you look at Mastek right now?
Well, yeah, I think current levels of 1700 could be a good point where you can start averaging, but then look to average further at a 10% further dip.
Right, Kunal, Deepak Nitrate, Rajesh is writing to us from Delhi. He's holding Deepak Nitrate, 25 shares at 1,875. He's asking whether he should hold or book profit. He's also saying that he can wait for another 6 months. What do you advise him to do?
I would suggest him to hold on.
Okay, Kunal, Rishabh already has 566 shares of TTML purchased at 36 rupees in 2008. What should be his strategy?
Book out profits.
Right, Krish is writing to us from Chennai. He's asking you, Rajesh. He's holding HUL shares. He's asking whether he can shift to ITC.
Of course, yes. Although HUL is also good, but ITC is better.
P. Tirupati or Tirupati Rao from Andhra Pradesh is asking about Birla's of support and resistance if he wants to buy for the next 2 years. What's your take, Kunal?
So current levels of 290 is a good point where you can look to buy. 275 could be a support, and on the short-term charts, I would look out for 375 as a resistance.
Kunal, Rishabh is writing to us. He's bought TTML at 566. He's asking what he should do for short-term.
I would suggest to exit.
Okay, extending the query segment then, and Kiran is asking on Welspun Enterprises, 50 shares, 127, should hold or sell. What should be the take for the long term? But Kunal, this one is for you.
Well, I would suggest to hold on. I think the stock has been doing remarkably well over the last few months. I would suggest to hold.
Okay, Rajesh, Girish Iyer is writing from Kerala. He's holding Palma Lorry, 1,000 shares at 127. He's asking what he should do for a long-term basis.
Hold. It has got very good business. Definitely a hold.
All right, and this lastly I have from one of our viewers asking for best capital goods stock for the long term, Rajesh.
Larsen, of course. It's only Larsen which can give you a very good return, considering the order book and all. Larsen.
All right, and with that we come to the extended version of the rapid fire as well as the query segment. Thank you so much, Rajesh, as well as Kunal, for joining us on the show, giving us a take on the chemical stocks as well as helping resolve viewer queries and viewers. With that, we are actually totally out of time on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. It's a goodbye from Adaraj, myself, and the team that put the show together. But stay tuned, Markets at Noon coming up next.
आग को फैलने से रोकना.
If you have participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
But if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge.
See, Nikunj, you are a very seasoned market observer, and therefore you may hit the nail on the head.
I think you have always kept the focus on the retail investor, and I think it's again a very apt, very good question.
Nikunj, first of all, thank you so much. You are one person I've always enjoyed interacting throughout last 15-20 years.
You know, the problem on coming on your channel is that you already know everything. I just heard your introduction. And what can anybody add to that?
Stock markets is a numbers game, and it sometimes does come across as one-dimensional. But what people don't see is that these numbers, when strung together, tell a story. There's no really black or white. It very much seems to be a work in progress of triumphs and mistakes, greed and fear. And I bring you that story behind the numbers in action.
The personal finance show that helps you achieve all your financial dreams.
This show gets you everything that you need to know about your money, how to earn more, invest smartly, and spend while getting the best bang for your buck.
From the perfect home to early retirement and everything in between.
Real estate, everyone knows, is an asset that Indians absolutely love, maybe even more than gold.
Join us every weekday at 5 p.m. on the ET Money Show. Investment made easy. Only on ET Now.
With each passing day, this market is becoming better. And with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.